So, this story, it's not really about the DMV. It's about how one woman, with just a simple clipboard and a whole lot of confidence, basically created an entire, fully functioning government right there on a sidewalk. Okay, picture this. It is 6:41 in the morning, it's cold, and you're standing outside the DMV. Suddenly, a woman makes this bold declaration. And the craziest part? This whole crowd of tired, freezing adults who've been waiting for hours, they just listen to her. No questions, they just obey. Let's call her Brenda. Now, to really get why this works, you have to understand the environment. I mean, the DMV isn't just a building, right? It's a test. It's this place where you go to prove you can follow instructions you've never even heard using documents you didn't know you needed. It's this high-stakes, emotional suit before the doors even swing open. The line, well, it starts long before the sun is up. On this particular day, at 5:40 a.m., you've got the true believer. This person has an almost religious faith in being first. By 6:30, the veterans show up. You know, the ones armed with their perfect folders of paperwork. And then, at 6:41, our hero, Brenda, arrives to organize what is quickly becoming total chaos. So, this is Brenda, and she immediately spots the problem. She looks at this cluster of cold, anxious people and says, "That's not a line, that's a gathering." And here's what's so interesting about her diagnosis. A cluster, a random group, that's dangerous. It's an invitation for people to cut. But a list, well, a list is fair. So she pulls out a clipboard. And this right here gets to the absolute core of the whole situation. See, a line isn't just a physical thing. It's a social contract. It's this unspoken promise that nobody's going to steal time, the one thing we can never get back, from anyone else. Brenda's list wasn't just about order. It was about offering this powerful moral comfort in a place that almost never has any. So Brenda has established her sidewalk government. But you know, every new social order has to face its first challenge. And this one arrived at 7:05 a.m. wearing a tank top in 34-degree weather, ready to stage a one-man rebellion. We'll call him Tank Top Gary. And Gary just strolls right past everyone, trying to plant himself by the door. But Brenda, now the official guardian of the social contract, she confronts him with 5 simple, incredibly powerful words. "Excuse me, there's a list." And Gary's response says who. I mean, that is the classic challenge to any new authority, isn't it? He's not just questioning Brenda, he is testing the will of this fragile little society she just created. This is the moment. Her entire system could just collapse right here. And here is the absolute masterstroke. Brenda doesn't say, "says me." No way. She elevates the clipboard itself to the ultimate source of power. It's not her authority, it's the list's authority. And the crowd, they back her up. Gary, realizing he's not fighting one woman but an entire system, finally, reluctantly joins the list. You know what's so fascinating? It's how quickly Brenda's system developed its own little bureaucracy. When Gary didn't want to give his last initial, Brenda's logic was perfect. She says, because people will try to be Gary. In her mission to create fairness, she had hilariously recreated the exact kind of institution they were all waiting to get into. Okay, so the Sidewalk Society is holding strong. They're all united by this clipboard. But at 8 a.m. sharp, the doors unlock, and Brenda's grassroots government is about to go head-to-head with the official one. A DMV staff member walks out and delivers the single most devastating sentence you could possibly hear after 90 minutes of organized waiting. "I understand, ma'am, but we don't recognize that list." And just like that, their entire social contract, their whole morning's work, it's just gone, meaningless. And this really brings us to the central conflict of the whole story. On one side, you've got Brenda's list. It's built on fairness and social trust, and it's enforced by the will of the people. And on the other side, you have the DMV's kiosk, built on rigid procedure, powered by electricity, and enforced by the state. It's that classic battle, human-centered fairness versus a cold, impersonal system. So you might be thinking, was Brenda just on some kind of power trip? Well, the story actually reveals something much, much deeper. Her real motivation, it wasn't about control at all. And here's the twist. Brenda explained that the last time she was there, some guy cut the entire line and nobody said a single word. Because of him, a young mom with a baby ended up waiting all day long. So you see, Brenda wasn't a dictator. She was an unpaid hall monitor for adults, just trying to stop that quiet kind of unfairness that happens when everyone is just too tired to fight back. And just when everyone is finally inside, settling into the new official system, the real villain arrives.
He is the living embodiment of everything Brenda was trying to prevent. The "I just have a quick question" guy marching right up to the counter, completely ignoring the entire system.
So the staff tells him to get a ticket, but he starts to argue. And this is when Brenda, who's been stripped of her clipboard authority, finds her voice again. She stands up and says, loud enough for the whole room to hear, "Get a ticket like everybody else." And the room quietly supports her. She had won back their respect.
Eventually, Brenda's number gets called, and in this final symbolic act, she crumples up her list and tosses it in the trash, rejoining the official system. The machine may have won the day, but for all the people who saw what she did, it mattered. She had defended the unwritten rules. So what does this whole clipboard coup really tell us? Well, that the DMV doesn't just process licenses, it processes humans. It's a pressure cooker, and it reveals our true character. When we're faced with chaos, some of us become cutters, some of us become quiet helpers, and some of us, like Brenda, see a need and step up to lead. And that really leaves us with this question. I mean, the DMV has its kiosks and its tickets, its whole official system of order. But in a world that is so full of official rules, who is actually responsible for enforcing the unwritten ones? You know, the ones about fairness and decency and just looking out for each other when the system won't.